What's up everyone, welcome to my Bloodseeker build. Bloodseeker is a Slayer archetype from the new DLC. This is a very versatile class, letting you either focus into strength, dex, or int. This build was tested on hard, and with this build, you will be strong at all parts of the game. Not only will you be good in melee, but you will also have very high AC, powerful summons, and even spellcasting late game. Before we get into character creation, I wanted to go over the bonuses and negatives for choosing Bloodseeker over a regular Slayer. The main thing we lose with Bloodseeker is our Slayer and Advanced Slayer talents that are replaced with Nocturnal abilities. Losing Slayer talents does hurt quite a bit, but with the Nocturnal abilities that give us powerful summons that can easily get us through some tough battles in the mid to early game, and later profane bonuses to strength and dex that will carry us all the way to the late game. Bloodseekers must be in evil alignment, and starting at level 1, they are treated as undead for channel energy effects. At level 2, we get Bloodlust and a very nice passive that gives us a +1 to damage and attack rolls for each kill until the end of combat. This can exceed our intelligence modifier, but this will only really matter early game because late game we will have as much as 80 int. This is also when we unlock our blood pool and nocturnal abilities. Our blood pool has 2 points at level 2 and increases by 1 every level. This replenishes after every rest. Also at level 2 we get sharp teeth, which gives us an extra 1d6 bite attack that on a critical hit replenishes 3 points of our blood pool. This isn't super strong early, but any extra attacks are always a bonus. At level 9 our vampire bite becomes quite a bit better, giving us temporary hit points and draining a negative level from living creatures on every hit, not just critical hits. At level 10 we get a very unique carrion form, which allows us to transform into a swarm of undead ravens, damaging an enemy with the swarm attacks, replenishes a stacking 1 blood point per enemy hit. This ability is very niche, and by the time I got it, I never really got low on blood pool points, but could see it being valuable in a different build focusing more on summons. Finally, at level 20, we lose our Master Slayer capstone, replaced with Master of Blood, giving us a +6 profane bonus to strength, dex, and int. This also increases our blood pool points by 5. We do also get Empower and Bolster applied to our Blood Jet and Cone of Blood abilities, but I never really used either ability past the early game. One last thing before we get into character creation, we are a reach character in this build, so make sure you get close enough to proc your bite attacks in melee. When it comes to race, human is usually the best choice, but for this build, thematically I wanted to go Dampier. For the heritage, I chose Vampire Kingborn because it gives us a +2 to int and strength. For background, Street Urchin Pickpocket for better initiative, or Regional Gebite Necromancer for a +3 bonus to HP to summon to undead creatures and companions. Dump Charisma so that we can take 18 strength and int. We will be increasing int at every level, but we will need the 18 strength to get us by until chapter 3 when we get Death Consonant. 12 dex, 12 con, 12 wisdom for better saves and higher survivability. Power attack, as we will be using two-handed weapons the entire game, starting with glaives early and later bardishes in act 3. For deity, anything chaotic evil. Evil is required for Bloodseeker and chaotic for one of our dips late game. At level 2, we unlock our bite, blood pool, and first nocturnal ability. The best choice by far is Summon Direwolves, as they can get you through some tough fights early to mid game. At level 3, take Cleave to work towards cleaving finish. At level 4, there's not too many good options yet for nocturnal abilities, so I would choose Cone of Blood, as that at least it gives you AoE damage. And we're gonna level int now and every single level after. At level 5, we finally get Cleaving Finish, which is a pretty nice boost to our damage. At level 6, we finally get one of our best nocturnal abilities, Predatory Might, which gives us a +4 profane bonus to strength and a +2 profane bonus on damage rolls for 1 minute per level. This combined with strength belts can let you achieve much higher strength than most characters at this level. At level 7, I always like to take Outflank on every character in my party that is a melee character. At level 8, we get another amazing nocturnal ability in Summon Bloody Bones Beast. This summon is much more powerful than the wolves. Because of their stats, this will help you in many fights in the mid to late game. At level 9, Improved Initiative, and this is also the level that our bite gets upgraded and much more powerful. At level 10 is yet another great nocturnal ability in Predatory Prowess, giving us a +4 profane bonus to dexterity and a +2 profane bonus to AC for 1 minute per level. This is also when we unlock our carrion form if we're ever in need of blood pool points and don't want to rest. At level 11, it's time to get improved critical bardiche, as you should be getting Death Consonant if you haven't already. At level 12, we can finally grab Sense Vitals. The reason we don't grab it early is because we have a lot of other great options. At level 13, grab Combat Reflexes, as we now have Predatory Prowess, giving us a potential 2 extra attacks of opportunity around. At level 14, I would take Vampiric Shadow Shield to damage anyone that hits you in melee, not reach range, and to heal you for 25% of the damage dealt to them. At level 15, Weapon Focus Bardiche. At level 16, Racking Ray for the enemies that aren't immune to drain. At level 17, Dazzling Display to qualify for Shatter Defenses. At level 18, Enervation, again for the enemies that aren't immune to drain. At level 19, Shatter Defenses. It's still very good after the nerf on characters that get a lot of attacks per round. At level 20, might as well take Vampiric Touch as we're going Sword Saint. For our Mythic levels, I'll be speccing into Legend, so I'm only going to go over the first 2 levels as you lose all others when going Legend. What you go 3 to 8 is completely up to you. There's a lot of good options. I chose Lich, but choose whatever fits your playthrough. At Mythic level 1, I take Last Stand pretty much on all melee characters, since I play on hard. At Mythic level 2, Mythic Power Attack, this is by far the most value you can get for this build at level 2. From here, I'm going to go through levels 21 to 40 for Legend. I thought it fit more thematically than full Lich. We will be doing a few dips before focusing into Sword Saint. At level 21, take a level into Titan Fighter, not only for the extra feat, but to allow us to wield our Bardiche in one hand to better synergize with Sword Saint later. We'll also be taking dodge and combat expertise here to qualify us for Student of War in a few levels. At level 22, take a level into Instinctual Warrior. At level 23, take our last level into Instinctual Warrior to let us add our Wisdom to AC. And here I would choose Skill Focus Knowledge World, which is our last qualification for Student of War. At level 24, take a level into Vivisectionist and any spells. At level 25, take our last level into Vivisectionist for Cognitigen and Spell Penetration for our upcoming Sword Saint spells. At level 26, it's time for our last dip into Student of War. For class skill, choose whatever you want. I chose Use Magic Device. At level 27, take our last level into Student of War. We gain Mind Over Metal, letting us use our Int modifier in place of our Dex modifier for AC. Take Greater Spell Penetration and Blind Fight. At level 28, we finally get started on our Sword Saint levels and continue all the way to level 40. Take Chosen Weapon Bardiche and any spells. At level 29, we're going to start grabbing feats to boost our fire spells to combo with the piece of gear that we'll explain in our gear section. Spell Focus Evocation and any spells. At level 30, take Arcane Accuracy to add our massive int bonus to our attack rolls as a swift action and any spells. At level 31, Greater Spell Focus Evocation. For spells, take Mirror Image and Scorching Ray. At level 32, Elemental Focus Fire. For spells, take Blur and Molten Orb. At level 33, Greater Elemental Focus Fire. Take Enduring Blade to increase our arcane enchantments to 1 minute per mage's level. For spells, take Invisibility and Frigid Touch. At level 34, take Fireball and Displacement. At level 35, Weapon Specialization, Bardiche. For spells, take Haste and Vampiric Touch. At level 36, it doesn't really matter, but Animal Aspect Greater and Force Punch. At level 37, Greater Weapon Focus Bardiche. For spells, Controlled Fireball and Invisibility Greater. At level 38, we have most of our good feats, so just take Hammer the Gap or anything you prefer. For spells, Shield of Dawn and Dimension Door. At level 39, Extra Arcana Empowered Magic for our fire spells and Dimension Strike. For spells, Shout and Dragon's Breath. At level 40, we get Lethal Focus, letting us add our int modifier to damage against flat-footed enemies. For spells, take Vampiric Shadow Shield and Fire Snake. Now it's time to cover our gear. For the head, Hat of the Bitter End for a +2 to attack rolls on a kill, stacking with Bloodlust. Before you acquire it, use as high of an int headband as you have. For the face, Rasmir's Mask for immunity to divination spells, a +8 enhancement to all mental ability scores, the spell turning ability, and the first spell that you cast each round is a free action. Make sure to remove this before buffing because of the spell turning effect. For the cloak, the Grand Festival Cloak for a +7 to saving throws, a +5 circumstance bonus on persuasion bluff checks, and a +2 circumstance bonus to charisma. For the rings, Ring of Triumphant Advance for a +2 deflection bonus to AC, and to double any of our morale bonuses. For the second ring, the Ring of Imminent Demise for a +2 competence bonus on attack and damage rolls with two-handed weapons. And whenever we make an attack of opportunity, the enemy must pass a fortitude check or be knocked down. For the bracers, Bracers of Slaughter to let us ignore all damage reduction, deal an additional 3d10 force damage on weapon attacks, and a +10 to armor. For the amulet, Valexia's Magnifying Amulet for a +5 to AC and a +2 bonus to our int. For armor, late game, make sure not to use any armor besides mage armor. For the early to mid game, choose whatever you like. I chose the Chainmail of Camaraderie. For the shirt, Treacherous Flame for a +6 untyped bonus to all mental abilities for 3 rounds after getting a kill with the fire spell, which is very easy to accomplish, allowing us to get up to 80 int. For the Belt of the Last of the First Humans for a +5 sacred bonus on attack rolls and a +10 sacred bonus on damage rolls. This also gives you complete physical immunity to the first ranged attack against you each round, and the ability to roll twice and take the better result on initiative. For hands, I chose Fencer's Gift for a +3 damage bonus. For boots, I chose Runic Sacrifice for a +8 to Dex and a +10 bonus on mobility and athletics checks. They also double bonuses to AC, attack rolls, and reflex throws from haste, which we will pretty much always be hasted. Finally, whenever an enemy crits us, they become stunned for 1d4 rounds. For weapons, our main weapon for melee is Death Consonant, which allows us to use our huge int modifier as a damage bonus, and our int bonus instead of strength for attack rolls. We use Hammer of Mastery before combat to give us a +3 circumstance bonus to attack and damage rolls for an hour. We use Sin Mage's Staff at the start of combat to get our first fire spell kill before swapping to Death Consonant. I would use this in every fight except boss fights. For our usables, first, the duality of Conjuration and Summoning for extra summons, Lucky Dice for a +1 luck bonus on an attack or damage roll, or to AC during an enemy's attack, Brazen Whip to buff our summons, the slow can be countered by freedom of movement. The Dragon from the Act 5 quest for an extra random 1d4 cold, fire, acid, or electricity damage on hit with a weapon. Finally, the Covenant of the Inheritor to good align all weapons of party members in 30 feet as if they were cold iron. This also grants us a +2 bonus to caster level checks made to overcome spell resistance. That's it for the build. For everyone that made it this far, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. If you liked the build, please like and subscribe. This really helps me as I want to continue making videos, and it will really help me to grow so I can justify doing that. If you didn't like the build, want to discuss the build, or have any suggestions for future builds, feel free to comment down below. Sorry for the long delay from my last video. I've been and will continue working on improving my editing, audio, and thumbnails. I also like to do all my testing in real, full hard playthroughs to see the strength of the build at all points of the game, instead of just respecing late game for testing. Either way, have a great day, and thanks again for watching.